Canon R50 V version of this camera. This is exactly what you've been looking for in case you are specifically in the market for a mirrorless camera that's going to take amazing pictures, yet it really is all about the video quality in here. So basically it is almost a real cinematic camera in a very small package, and the target line here is for amateur but also semi-professionals as well. And it's all in a handy small package, so you don't need those huge, big, bulky cameras for you to go ahead and take and start doing pictures and videos and so on. So this is an all-in-one. And one thing about this does take the R lenses, does not take the M lens, which is a previous line of mirrorless cameras. And it can also take the RF lens, which is a much more small lenses that you don't see over here because I didn't get the version that has it. This has the bigger, more bulky R lens over here instead. So this is one downside of this specific camera, is that if you're using the bulkier, bigger lenses, they cost more money, they're better quality, but they're way more expensive. If you're using the EFS lenses, those are smaller, much less bulky, much more lightweight, but the amount of f-stop for them is not as good as the ones over here. So this one can take much more light. Now another thing about this is that it is missing, doesn't have the actual viewfinder over here, but fear not, there is really easy to use controls over here. It also has an ability for you to shoot video with your own color spec grade right out of the box. You don't need to actually have Photoshop for you to go ahead and get this done, which is a big plus as well for those of you who don't want to play around with the Photoshop and everything else to change the colors, everything that you need in the video software and different video software that you can go ahead and use for it. It's not necessary because you can do all of it in spec over here. This is specifically made for people who like to do vlogs, for people who are content creators, making it easy to change the different interfaces over here by just flick of a switch over here, many different kinds of video modes for you to go ahead and pick from. And of course, handy and easy for you to go ahead and use with the buttons, all nice layout and everything as well. Let's take a look at this thing up close, and you can see that the whole entire control dial over here is the one that you can constantly just go ahead and end up pressing on it because you cover it up as you shoot pictures. This was just really a mistake. This dial should have been right up here. And I don't know what they were thinking when they said that, when they made this, but a lot of times you end up just accidentally just pressing those buttons as you're just holding this. And then when you press the lock screen over here, which is right there, you press on the lock, controls locked. Look, it still works. There's no lock here. It still goes right through the menu. And that's a major miss right here, which could be fixed with a software thing about this, software update maybe. There is a potential for that. Now, there is a lot of good things in this camera, like it picks up the sound pretty well. Right here you can stick a flash, or you can put a sound mic at the top. This is a great addition to this. It's basically a small DSLR, but I wanted a small kind of a camera with a smaller lens that I could use the M system instead. And it doesn't actually do that. You will have to wait until they have much more EFS lenses. So it actually balances in terms of the weight, because when you put a full-size lenses on those to get really good picture or video quality, we're talking about this thing becoming super heavyweight for you to go ahead and handle. Now the mic system is right up here, and you can accidentally, you can cover it with your hand if you're not careful. This is the only mic system that exists in this camera. Now pushing this aside, the weight is pretty good, the ergonomics are pretty decent, and when this thing comes out, you can see that moves up and down. And of course, it is made in Japan. By pressing the info button over here, you can see different views, and you can go ahead and even listen and watch your own thing that you shot here as well. Now, there is a lot of information that you can get out of this thing, and the great thing about this is that as you go through this, you can see how it actually looks. You can get all the specifications, the viewfinder, how much light has been used to go ahead and create this. A lot of really amazing, awesome stuff that is included over here. Now, the great thing about this is that the picture quality is pretty good too. As you can see, this is pictures, and I took really good pictures of this as well here just to test it out to see how it actually looks like. When it comes to pictures, you can go ahead and zoom in with your finger, and you can go in this one and you can play the actual video itself. So you can see the pug over here, how it interacts with everything as well. So when it comes to video footage, this thing is the king. When it comes to pictures, it's not bad either. As you can see, the pictures are pretty good. It's the lack of controls for the pictures, and a lot of the things, all the cool stuff is inside the menu. But if you put it on the automated mode, it does amazing pictures. And it does very good pictures too when it comes to that. The biggest thing that I found, and what I just like about this specific camera, is that although it takes amazing kind of footage all together, it's not that great when it comes to actual pictures. And because of that, it makes it just not as fun of an experience as you go through it. I mean, the pictures are good, and then you can change the whole scenes. Like, for example, you can go ahead and change the video as you take the different scenes and make it either more dark or more light, or you can add different cinematic things and touch to it, which makes it really interesting as well. And I do like the ability for you to go ahead and change the environment. And overall, take a look at this, like absolutely stunning, the videos that come from this camera. And they're really great when it comes to that. You see, like, it captures everything when it comes to the video setting. And then the same deal when it comes to doing different kind of interfaces. Like, for example, this is the reddish color to this, but you can change it to something else as well. And you can add different kind of form factors to this as you go about and change it around. So for example, like this one is much darker, and then I made a much more different effect to this, and you can go ahead and change it around to anything that you like or dislike, which makes it a really awesome camera